Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Evening.
Welcome. How you going, Mr. Pete?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Here we are again, episode 86. We're finally back on schedule on our proper week. A day late, but give us a chance.
Yeah, we get there.
Yeah. So we've got episode 86 reissues, and as we can see in the chat has already blown up, even before we were even about an hour and a half ago talking.
Yeah.
John's gone in here, going on smashing down on the reissues, and we've got Doc Smizzle, Lane Kramer, some good Toy Mafia, good bit of pre-show chat in there, guys.
Yeah, it's kicking off nicely. Cool.
Yeah, we're going to help Doc through his last shift at work, apparently, so we're always happy to help out.
Always happy to help, mate. Always happy. I know how hard it is to work. I do not like it. So any help I can get
You've got something
is always great.
Going on in the background. It always helps get through the day.
Does indeed. So look, let's kick off. Let's have a look at the new releases we've got. Well, actually, let's start with what we've got, which is 2 parts of fuck all.
Yeah. You've got an Xbox. And I got lots of bits and pieces that I've kind of put together into what I'll talk about in Custom Corner. So it's not worth going through all the bits separately.
No. For me, it was nothing 6 scale related. So I decided it's not worth boring people with my Warhammer. So I thought I'd just stick. Although I did pay off Doc or Marty, one of them. I paid one of them off.
Yeah.
Not sure which one, but I paid
when are
one
they
of them.
saying they're due out?
January to March. So
Okay.
I'm guessing March.
Well, yeah, I think so.
I'm hoping March, because let's put it this way, I ain't got enough in the bank to be able to pay off the other one yet.
Well, I'm just waiting on my invoice from Asmus for Schmiegel. So they're starting to send them out now. So I'll
See the stuff they were sending out about the Gandalf the White? I kind of breezed through it. I didn't really take it in.
What was that?
They've made some changes, I think, to the staff.
Okay. What, and they're going to send them out, are they, to people that...
I have no idea, because I was
okay.
flicking through Facebook and I saw this thing from Asmus with all these pictures of old and new and like pictures of staffs and shit like that. And I was like, I'll go back to that. And then I completely forgot. So it was only about an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably still on there.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a look, because I was contemplating picking up the Gandalf the White head, because there's quite a few. Could have got the old figure for about £100, but they're all sold out of the heads now, so it's not a lot of point really. That thing's worth nothing if you can't get the new head for it.
No.
Yeah. But...
Cool. So
okay.
Pardon me. Oh, right. As you may have noticed on the screen, we got Hot Toys ShangChi, 240 quid. Looks alright. Just like I say, I'm so done with Marvel.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the film was okay. I think I didn't mind the film. It was quite good fun. But I don't think there's anybody in there like that I'd want to kind of want on my shelf, even if I was still into Marvel. I think
It was one of the better new wave Marvel films.
Yeah. But I just think, I don't know that there's any, because we've got the Wenwu to come, and it's a good, really good head sculpt and looks great. But there's actually 2 versions of him, aren't there? There's one in his suit as well, his business suit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think if they'd come out like when the film came out, they might have sold a few, but I'm not sure who's kind of going back for this now.
This is the consistent problem though with Hot Toys.
Yeah.
Is when the hype is there, they go, oh look, you can have this in a year. Then in a year, maybe 2 years time, people go, kind of done now. Not really that bothered.
Yeah, and they have the kind of, like when you were talking about the other licenses like Star Wars, Back to the Future, all of that, that's fine, because they're gone and they're old properties, and they've still got so much love that people, although you might be a bit pissed off, you got to wait 18 months, 2 years, doesn't matter. You're not going to fallen out of love with that material then. But with stuff that's, of the moment, but is not necessarily going to last the test of time, and people go, oh yeah, that was like, I remember that was brilliant. Yeah, I think this. I know people talk about this bargain bin. I think this one might be
all day long.
Destined for that. Yeah.
I mean, figure-wise, there's nothing really wrong with it. His hair's a little bit weird, like it's just very plasticky. But it's figure-wise, it's all right. It looks pretty good, but film was good, but the moment's gone.
And I'm not a massive fan of those kind of translucent plastic parts, and obviously this comes with quite a few of those.
They always look horse shit after a while.
Doesn't look good on the right there. Yeah.
No, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest.
Got some new people. We've got Bob Dylan. We've got Andrews IB, Badfish, Cavalier Comic Fan, Evening Chaps. Evening all. Nice to have you.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Sideshow Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
230. I'll say that again. 230 quid plus postage. Do you know the Red Man one that you can get for like 130?
Yeah.
What? This isn't another £100 better.
Yeah. No. It's a difficult one. So first of all, I need to give a shout out. These are our friend of the show, Chris Donaldson. These are his photos. So thanks.
He always takes a good photo, that man.
Yeah, exactly. I saw his on Facebook, and I thought, I wasn't really. I kind of forgotten it was coming out, and I wasn't. But when he he'd put some photos up, he'd done quite a good little review of it, and I thought it was worth putting on. He actually quite likes it. He said, it's actually quite good quality. So the body's big and sturdy, the clothing's good. The head sculpt is not perfect, but it's not bad. And the one on the left, that looks really good. The photo on the left, where his head's kind of. I know you're a bit further away, but it was only really the fact that Chris was actually quite praised it quite. If he'd sort of shit all over it and said it was awful, I don't think I'd have bothered putting it in the show sheet. But the fact that he was actually quite pleased with it, and we know how picky Chris is about his figures and accuracy and stuff. I think the price is way over, as you say. I mean, if it was 150, 160. Probably a decent buy, but you've got to be a massive fan to kind of spend that sort of money, I think.
Yeah, because even if we put the price aside, and we just said, okay, ignore the price. Yeah, it's probably one of Sideshow's better figures.
Oh well, yeah. That's not difficult for them. Unfortunately.
No, exactly. But yeah. I like it. I just don't think it's worth the two. Remember, it's plus postage as well.
Yeah,
that's the bit that really that's really insulting. It's 230 plus postage.
And it's a Sideshow figure, so you can't really get round it either.
No, if you get from Sideshow, you're looking at another 40 quid postage, and then probably another 60 quid on top of customs.
Yeah. So you're well over 300 quid. Because they're Blondie's out soon as well, isn't it? Or it's out. Because I saw the little unboxing. There was a video where they had Clint Eastwood in the studio and stuff, and it looked alright. But again, it's big money. I think there was a few. Again, Chris had sort of mentioned that a few bits are off, but actually it didn't look too bad. But again, the head sculpt wasn't 100%, and for the money. Yeah, once it's cases, there's something off about the shirt collar. Yeah, it looks a bit thick, doesn't it?
Do you know, I've yet to see a 6-scale shirt that the collar isn't ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like even looking at the fucking Iris indie set I've got, like I'm looking at it going, even the collar on that's fucking unreal. Like I don't think I've seen a 6-scale shirt where the collar's not just insanely big.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all like that.
But yeah, I just thought it worth that it's actually not as bad as we probably expected it to be, but it comes at a cost.
a fucking big cost.
Yeah.
So I must admit, this next one I know nothing about. This is Juice Girl, the Goddess of Death, 140 quid. Mm-hmm. Didn't even realise this was a thing until it was put up as it been out. I can't remember us talking about it.
No, I don't remember either.
No, I mean, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. So it's I can't. What's her name? What's the character's name?
Hella.
Yeah. So it's a knockoff of the Hot Toys Hela from is it Ragnarok? And that was one of those
sneezing fit.
they were a little bit late to the party because this was one of those figures that blew up, didn't it? No one was really that bothered about it, and then it sold out, and it was suddenly changing hands for big money. I'm not sure if the hype has kind of died down on that now, or whether it's still, fairly sought after.
I don't know. I
always thought it was a weird look.
Yeah, for it, no one wanted it. It sold out, and then all of a sudden, everyone was after it.
Yeah,
you saw wanted posts for it all over the place. I haven't seen one for ages.
No. And I'm not sure what the. Oh, look, he's off again.
Yeah, I can't fucking
really
stop.
Sure what are these accessories in the bottom left? Is that like swappable shoulder pads or something? Shoulder. The only thing it looks like is these bits where the cape attaches.
Yeah, I think so.
You take the cape off and they just go on instead,
or
something like that. But it's not really an accessory. It's a bit off.
I mean, they've taken up a whole panel with hands.
Yeah, I know. That's the current trend. I think for the money, if it looks like it does here, it looks alright. If you really, really want this figure, it's probably not a bad shout. So I don't know what the Hot Toys goes for now.
Not 140 quid.
No, definitely not. Well, it was never that to start with, but I think it was like 400 quid they were going for at some point.
She comes with a working zipper, unlike the Hot Toys, so easier to body swap.
Ah, dirty boy. Yeah,
he's a Thyssen boy, is he?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, got no idea what that body's like. I mean, you can see a joint there at the shoulder, but it's a big outlay to put a Thyssen in there just to lose that little bit of because the rest of it's all covered up, isn't it? So
it doesn't look as obvious as the Hot Toys one, like the way they've got it in this photo. So
yeah.
Maybe that's the point of these bits on the shoulder, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Possibly. Yeah. But I think again it looks alright. It looks solid. We've got no experience of this Juice Girl company, so yeah. But it's out now, so give it a go.
Yeah, give it a swirl.
Yeah.
So next up. 11 Legend Agent J. There you go, 155 quid.
Yeah. And we did talk about this a little while back.
Yeah, there's been a couple.
Yeah.
Of Bonds. I don't mind this one too much. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah. The head sculpt's a little bit off. I think it looks a little bit podgy. I think, but
yes.
But then
tiny little nose.
Yeah. But then he's an odd-looking chap, and as you said, there have been many attempts at the head sculpt, and most of them fall short. But yeah, I mean, it looks okay. I don't really know who's still buying Daniel Craig Bond figures when he's departed now, and.
No.
If you wanted one, you got one now by now. But it looks okay. The hands look quite good. I think, to be honest, I only really put it in because it was looking very, very light on the new releases. So I thought I'll have a look to see what's come out. Tons incoming soon, but very little that's actually come out. So, but yeah, not bad. It's and the price is good. So
yeah. It looks okay, and for the price, it's 155 quid. Can't grumble too much. Again, another massive collar on it. But
definitely.
but on the whole, not too bad.
70s Bond colour. Yeah, no, it's all right.
Yeah, so that was everything that was cut. That's been bought out. So let's have a look at some of the stuff that's coming up. So the one everyone wants to talk about, 89 Batman. So this will set you back £335 for a deluxe and £280 for a standard edition, and that's at Q2 Q3 2024. I really like the original. I just didn't like how inflexible it was. This looks better in almost every way, and I like the little dial you get with it. So the thing is, the prices are all over the show, because $335 for the deluxe, I think, is a pretty good deal with all with that extra gargoyle and that. Yes. Obviously, you've got postage and fees and stuff on top of that.
Yeah, you're going to run into the 2 kilogram plus weight with the deluxe as well. So you're going to probably get a bit of maybe a £40 increase on the postage on that. But I think it is worth it. It does look good.
Yeah. Everything about it looks good, and for once the cape actually looks fairly decent, which for Hot Toys is a big achievement.
Yeah, I think it's still, wait and see, because they do really struggle with capes, don't they? But it does look better from what we can see. Obviously, I owned the original. I think it was the second Hot Toys figure I ever owned after the Indiana Jones DX05. It was good, but as you said, you could only have a straight up and down museum pose with the cape, either pushed back or out in front of him. I always thought there was something a little bit off with the cowl, and I think they've fixed that here. So for the time, it was fantastic, and it was a great figure. But I think it's definitely a good time for a 2.0, because we're looking at we're 10 years down the line now. So I think it's interesting that the original was a DX, but they haven't made this a DX, even though we've got some really weird DXs like the Ahsoka and things like that. So they're all over the shop, aren't they? Or
DX
is the DX line now, or it is
absolutely meaningless.
Yeah.
Most figures come with a deluxe version anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah.
It's just it's absolutely a waste of fucking time. But my favourite is that little bloody mouth plate.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. And that little picture in the middle where he's looking to one side.
Yes.
Keaton all day long. Like, they've absolutely fucking nailed this.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Pearson. Evening, Mark.
Hello.
Yeah, so we've got separate rolling eyeballs now, which is the new version of the parallel.
To be
eyeballs,
fair, every single old Hot Toys with purs at this point is probably now a single eyeball system.
Well, yeah, exactly. Broke. They all broke. And the thing is quite funny, is the fact that really the separate one just means that you're not going to break it, because most people's eyes move together unless you're deliberately being cross-eyed. So you've got to be very careful with these, that you don't end up with a real odd-looking... it
only has to be out a smidge.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a smidge.
So we're probably going to see some really dodgy, sort of not quite there. But I think if you get it just right, then it's get it there and just leave it. And but yeah, I think it's good. It is an iconic. I actually prefer the Batman Returns suit.
Lots of people say that.
I just prefer the fact that with this one, I don't so much like the fact that the head kind of bulges out and then the neck comes in a bit. The Returns one is more straight down, but that's just my preference. And I owned that one as well, and I think just ultimately again there was you couldn't do anything with it. And once I got rid of the Batmobile, I was kind of like, it doesn't really. So, but Keaton will always be my Batman, even though I don't currently have a figure. I won't be buying this, but I'm really pleased for people that. Sorry, John. Really pleased for people that are excited about this, because
Thing is, after 10 years, it's perfectly acceptable to do a 2.0.
Yeah, definitely.
I think 10 years is long enough. If this had only been out 2 years, get pissed off about it, but 10 is enough.
So must be a slightly older picture because it also comes with a shoe, one of Vicky Vale's high heels, white shoe. They must have put that in a bit after I picked this picture up, but
because
yeah, exactly. I think obviously the idea is that you can kind of recreate that final scene up on the top of the cathedral with the gargoyle and the shoe. And a lot of people are saying, are they gonna reissue Joker?
The thing is, there's enough
sense, but
I mean, Mars Toys are pretty much killing it with Nichols and Joker. They'd be stupid not to, if I'm honest.
They would. And as much as like you and I would, we don't have an issue with third party. We'll go to whoever, we'll buy from whoever. There are a lot of people that still won't buy anything other than Hot Toys. So if Hot Toys announced that tomorrow, people would be all over it.
Oh, 100%. And hands down, it would be better. It would be. Like, we know it will. But you're paying for that as well. Big time.
That would be cool. A bag of laughs, And Unicorn Joker better come with a bag of laughs, but this is... I do like this. I think it's a good release. And the prices aren't... I know that 300 is kind of becoming the new norm, but I think it's quite good. I think if you go for the deluxe, you get quite a you're probably not going to use or pose with many of these gadgets, but it's nice to have them. And he does look good if he's like holding out the grapple firer or a batarang or something like that. So that's probably...
It's that picture there with his arms out with the cape all pointy. I like that.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody actually properly nail that, because obviously he has poles that he holds to pull that out, and but maybe
no one can get the arms up that high.
No, well, that's the thing, and it may still be, tricky, but obviously the body's going to be better than the underlying body would be better than the original, so that might help a bit, but you're still going to be restricted by that suit to a certain degree.
Problem is, while it's brand new, it'll be able to do loads, and then as the body starts to settle in and it gets looser, it will go like the other one.
Yeah, well, and not easy doing a body swap.
Oh, I give it 5 minutes before some twats put this on a Thyssen.
Man of Steel. Yeah. No, I mean, if you could, just, I think. Hopefully, I think the bodies probably hold up a lot better than the ones from 10 years ago. So hopefully, you're not going to have a shoulder pop out and have no chance of getting it back in without, cutting a big hole down the back of the suit or something. So I mean, I know you've done it with those Arkham Batmans, haven't you? You've taken the suits off and stuff, but it's a little bit
with those. His legs aren't in a suit; they're his legs. And the pants on it are all part of the body, so you can pop the top off, and kind of get in there with a screwdriver and really tighten it up. But with the Arkham one, you Dremel out the underarms and stuff like that to get the arms tight in, and then you can because the body underneath is black and the suit has some very defined lines. You can cut a slit under the arms so that he can then pull his arm right up. It then stops the suit from pulling it back down, and you don't notice it because it's kind of lost in the creases of the suit.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that to this. It's just to get into it would be a ball ache.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But inevitably, you get the Batman, you get the Batmobile, which is £665 plus postage. It's at Q2, Q3, so exactly the same time. I've seen loads of comparisons between this and the Jazz Inc. And for me, I'm never going to get either one. They're both miles too big. I can't. I've got nowhere to put them. But
no.
This is what we were saying before. It boils down to price. No one's going to walk in the room with either one there and go, I don't know what either of them are. They're both going to go, That's the 89 Batmobile. If you've got the extra money, go Jazzing all the way. He's a phenomenal craftsman. The stuff he puts in is fantastic.
Yeah.
But you're going handmade to mass produced. So this, everyone bashing this one. I just think, fuck off. If this was like a year ago, you'd be like literally jizzing all over it.
I think it's a good price, and considering what they were going for on the aftermarket, the original ones. And I have owned this vehicle, and I was underwhelmed with it. I think just because compared to the DeLorean, and all right, I sold my DeLorean, but I have got the new one on order. There's just not enough to it to make it interesting, and it does, unfortunately, just sort of become like a big lump of plastic. It could be it's not, because it's quality when you look at the details, but it is massive. It's a metre long. I just struggled to put it anywhere without it sort of dominating and just taking up space, and it didn't look right. I think it's fine. I think that, as you say, if you've got the money, or you're that passionate about this vehicle that you want it as accurate as possible, go with Jazz Inc. all day long. I've got his Falcon cockpit, and it's fantastic. But I think if you're not worried about that, I wouldn't say that you would get this and go, "Oh, it looks undersized." You're not going to get the figure in here. I wouldn't recommend doing it. I probably wouldn't even recommend doing it with the Jazz Inc., to be honest, because you're risking damaging the figure. And do you really want? If you put him in there, you've got to have the canopy open, and I don't think it looks that great.
Yeah.
With the canopy open, it loses that that proper silhouette kind of iconic look. So you definitely don't want to waste Batman with the canopy shut. So I think for me, you've got to have canopy shut, Batman standing just in front of the big intake thing there. And that's perfect. So yeah, I think it is horses for courses, and I think 665. Plus your posters. I don't think that's bad. I think that's pretty good. You are getting a big piece of plastic for your money, it's nice to see. And we're assuming they've done nothing to it. It's literally just a complete reissue. There's no mention of any improvements or any changes or anything. There've been some rumblings about it. People said that they thought that Hot Toys had said they might make some changes, but I'm not sure. I think it's just going to be a reissue. But I would go with this. I don't think I would. I'd go with the Jazz Inc. But it's a little bit odd that we've got the two together, particularly now that Yoast has got the license, because before, Hot Toys would have had the license, so they'd have bought it out, and Yoast would have bought his out unofficial. But now that they're both under the Warner's umbrella, it seems weird to me that why would Warner's invest money into Jazz Inc.'s version, knowing that the Hot Toys one was coming out. And I know it's going to be a much lower volume, but it's got to take some investment, hasn't it, to make that thing, make the tooling and stuff for it. And I understand if this wasn't coming, but it's
it just seems weird. It just seems weird that they. But then I guess,
and also
from Warner Brothers' point of view, they've got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny that Yoast said he'd never touch this. He'd never do this. He'd never do a vehicle that Hot Toys had already done. So yeah, it's all a bit. But yeah, I think it's nice to have a choice, isn't it? And there's always going to be, people with different sort of levels of disposable income. And if you can afford the best,
you don't say. They make their own modes and fucking hell. Fuck's sake. It just seems weird that they're both doing it. Warner Brothers, they don't give a shit.
No. But I think it's a good time to be a Keaton Batman fan again. If you want to pick these this and the Batman for about 1,000 in. Okay, well, all right, not invested, Zach, but it is weird to me. It just seems counterproductive. But then,
they seem to be doing it a lot with because it used to be that certain companies would get the license for a certain scale, and that would be it. You then wouldn't give the license to someone else doing the same scale. But this seems lately, the last course, kind of 6 months to a year, doesn't seem to be the case. It seems that they will just hand the license out to anyone doing the same scale.
Yeah, we've seen that with in art, haven't we? In art with the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah.
6 scale. All right, it's for a selective market, but Danny, how do we keep this guy? Yeah, exactly.
With your foot. So look, we've gone from Batman, the Great, the Wonderful, to AntMan. So this is AntMan from the latest film, which doesn't look all that great.
It's not bad. It's better than I thought.
All I've heard about it is it fucking goes on. It's the Zach of movies. It fucking goes on.
Although, it's how you say that, but I didn't feel that. It's only just over 2 hours, and compared to, and I think that Zach will agree with me on this one, that Wakanda Forever, way too long. 2 hours, 40 minutes. That felt like a long movie.
3 times I've tried to watch that film, and I got to the point where she gets in the big suit and fucks off underwater, and I was like, I can't be arsed for this. This is just no. So I tried. Fuck knows I tried.
Coming off the back of that, I think this looks. It puts this in a better light, if you like.
So effectively, before you watch this, go watch a shit film first.
Yeah.
As a palate cleanser.
It's not that bad. I quite enjoyed it, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, on to the figure. What do we think of the figure?
I mean, look, it's 250 quid. I'm so done with Marvel figures that I probably wouldn't display it with the head sculpt. I'd always have the helmet on. And I'm struggling to see the differences between the last two. But again, I don't think that's necessarily Hot Toys' fault. I just think that's the design hasn't changed that much.
No, it hasn't. No.
It's nice though that the unmasked head sculpt isn't like that nightmare fuel of the other one.
They didn't.
That grinning monstrosity that was the last one.
See, it's one of those things.
Absolute chaos.
I think this head sculpt looks okay, and it has got there that it's subject to final sort of sign off. But it's one of those ones where it looks fine here, but then when you put it next to a picture of Paul Rudd, you think it's not quite. Yeah, there is a bit. I don't know if it looks a bit too gaunt, a little bit too thin. It's one of those ones where until you see it right next to the real actor, it looks really good, but then it's like, it's not quite right. And that was the same with a lot of them, like Yondu. I think he looked really good, but then when you put it next to Michael Rooker, you're like, there's something off about it. So
it's one of those, it looks better in your head because you know who it is and go, actually, that looks really good.
That looks perfect.
And then as soon as you hold up a picture, you go,
oh,
fuck.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know what that says about. I think
it looks a bit more like Zack Snyder than it does. Paul Rudd.
Yeah. But it looks decent, and they all come with. So we're going to look at the Wasp in a minute, and they've teased. Is it Cassie?
His daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. She. Spoiler. She gets a suit. It'd be cool if they did. The Hank and is it Hank Pym and
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, that would be really cool if they did those. I can't see them doing it, but that would be good. But they all come with these
Hot Toys now. Old people, like they get the likenesses really good on those, so they'd probably be really good.
Definitely. Yes, they all come with like a little version. So this one comes with Wasp, I think. AntMan
to be fair,
Wasp.
If you want to make a Michael Douglas, if you get a candle and just melt it, that would be a perfectly good head sculpt.
Oh, how would you make it not look like Einstein from Back to the Future, though? because they've done that already.
Well, I don't think there's much difference, to be fair. I think they'd probably just wheel that back out and go, there you go. It's Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Right. So that was Ant-Man. Let's have a look at the Wasp then, with the Karen hair.
Yeah, this does look really good though. I've always liked this suit, and I think the previous one looked really good with the wings out and stuff.
I'd never display this without the head sculpts. Like the head sculpt looked like the suit with the helmet on looks great.
The fact you can see the face through the visor is really cool as well.
Yeah, I just don't like the hair. But again, that's not Hot Toys' fault. It's just
that's what her hair looks like in the film. And she's older now, so I don't think it's a bad. It's probably strong. It's a stronger head sculpt than the Paul Rudd one. But again, I think it looks so good with the helmet and the visor that I wouldn't ever display it without that. So she comes with a little run-in Ant-Man, and there were some other ones teased that they kind of blacked out. So obviously they're going to announce Cassie at some point, probably letting people watch the film for a bit first. But I think there was another. There might be. Obviously they're going to bring Kang out, I think, but. I don't. Yeah, he was alright, but I kind of. It's not. He's not someone that stood out as me. Even if I was into Marvel, I must have a figure of him. He's not like a particularly iconic look or anything. But I expect he's coming.
I mean, in the comics, he's a great character, but I just so far I just don't feel it.
Yeah, he's okay.
But I've not seen the film, to be fair. So
I think it's just more the fact that the outfit never really struck me as being something that looked really cool. Or I mean, MODOK on the other hand, if they made that would be hilarious. I'd love to see Hot Toys make a MODOK. He's hilarious, and it would just be so different to anything that Hot Toys do. It'd be brilliant. But yeah, I'm not sure they'll go that far. But yeah, that'd be good. MODOK.
Yeah. So look, while we're on the yellow theme, let's have a look at She-Hulk Daredevil. Do you know in video games when you play around with the contrast? Yeah. This is kind of what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
So this is £240 at Q2, Q3 2024.
Right, I'm just going to say I have no experience of this Daredevil guy. I only saw him in that Spider-Man bit, in that little bit in the Spider-Man film. I haven't watched the series, I haven't watched the films, whatever. I didn't watch She-Hulk, couldn't stand it. This looks fucking dog shit. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that it doesn't look like he does, probably does, but I don't like it at all.
Oh, I'm not a fan. Like, I really liked the Netflix Daredevil series. It was fantastic. Yellow and the Punisher, brilliant. Maroon,
yeah.
This just, I do not like this. The head sculpt looks great. I like the unmasked head sculpt. I'm just not a fan of this suit at all.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sorry if you're a fan of this and you think it looks great. It probably does, but to me, I'm just like, ooh.
He looked this bad in She-Hulk. Like, they captured it really well. Like, the mustard Daredevil, but it's not for me. Like, not for me in the slightest.
No.
Yeah, I mean, this next one though, I could go for this one.
Yes.
Mars Toys killing it again with the King of Enigma, £140 at Q3 2023. So this year, I like this. I think this is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. So, because I think there's somebody's putting out the Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face, isn't there? There's one of those coming out, I think, from someone. I'm not sure who. So I think it's a great time to be, a Batman Forever fan. You just had the two figures, Batman and Robin from Hot Toys. We've got this guy. We've got that Two-Face. If you got the bang in your buck, you can get the Yost is making the Batmobile. The Batman Forever Batmobile is the next Bat vehicle that's coming. And that's like lights up and everything, doesn't it? That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
So this looks good, and I hope, and presumably, obviously, you're getting 2 head sculpts. You've got the one with the tongue out and the kind of laughing one. So I think for the money, if it comes out looking like this, it looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one that came up before looked alright, like years ago from a different company.
Yeah,
that wasn't
because they did that
well.
and they did the Two-Face.
They did, and they weren't bad, and they kind of started fetching a bit of money. So these companies, third parties, they're very good. They've got their fingers on the pulse, and they see what's coming out.
The moment I narrow down my collection is when all these decent, relatively cheap third-party Batman villains come out, and I'm like, you bastard.
Yeah.
You bastard. But yeah, really like this.
Yeah.
Really like this.
Yeah, it does look good. Comes with some cool stuff, and as much as I'm not a massive fan of Batman Forever, I think, and again, it's loving or hating, but I did think that Jim Carrey did a good job as the Riddler. So.
Best comment ever. Really digging this Riddler. Looking for him and Robin bumping tips.
Yeah, because he's thrusting his out.
It isn't just his knees that are knobbly.
No.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is good. Will Byers, though. Is Will Byers in it?
Will Byers, yeah.
175 quid, Q3 2023. I guess, if you've got the Hot Toys Michael Jackson, this would go great with it. But, I mean, that other one as well, the other fucking
the other one
on the
left.
awful.
Mike Wheeler.
Horrible.
Bad.
Horrible.
And it's funny because the other ones
horrible.
haven't looked that bad. The other two they've done looked okay. This I thought looked bad, and then when I saw the Mike one, I was like, oh.
I need to go back to the Upside Down. Fucking yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I was a bit disappointed with these. I don't know how well the 3-0, these Stranger Thing figures are selling, but
not very well if they keep coming out like that.
Yeah, I can see this dying off pretty quick.
This is a good idea.
Yes. Yeah. That would be.
The thing is, with these head sculpts, I genuinely think a lot of it is the paint. Now, in this instance, it's more than just the paint, because that head sculpt on the left and the one on the right are completely different.
Yeah.
There's no amount of paint in the world is going to save that. I'd be pissed off if I'd seen this pre-ordered and then saw this photo on the right hand side. I'd be like, bait and switch all day long.
Yeah,
like,
and obviously there's a lighting issue, and that's really stark lighting on the right there. But it's it's a miles away from.
Yeah, this is like more than lighting. This is completely different.
Yeah, and just like I don't know, just like the fit of the clothes and stuff is just not. I mean, I know that whatever it is, Gillet's big on the left, but it just doesn't look.
It's the rest of it as well.
Just don't look. Yeah.
He looks like he's got a broken wrist as well. Like it just. Yeah. It's not good, is it? Let's be honest.
No, and I think like
they're creeping up in price as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm surprised they've not announced the David Harbour Chief figure yet, because that would be a popular one, and that might give.
Can you imagine what the fuck they do to that?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
but it might give it a shot in the arm. But it's a shame, because 3-0 they have been doing some really good stuff, and I think they did well with the Game of Thrones and stuff, and they've always been right up there in the kind of the CW awards, but. This line is not.
They've gone massively downhill. Like everything they've released, or even shown in the last year, has just been shit. It's not really been that great. And
again, I love the TV show, but they're not figures that I really, they're people in normal clothes, and for me that, and we've talked about it a lot, haven't we? TV shows and stuff, and what's the longevity of them.
But that's where Doc's got it right. If they had the Ghostbusters outfits, because that is quite iconic from the TV series, you could do that. You could have that, and that could be up on your shelf for years, and people go, yeah. Because when I think Stranger Things, that's what I think of.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the first thing I think of.
You're mashing it up with a very strong franchise that you've loved for like 40 years, and that works. But these outfits are just nasty anyway. And I think you just get
great.
to a point when you were, a few years down the line, you're looking to make some space and pare down your collection. These guys are going to be first on the chopping block,
straight away. Straight away.
Yeah, I mean, as Doc says as well, I think the only real use of them is if people part out the bodies, because then you've got, if you're looking at doing like a short round or any sort of kid figures, but yeah,
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money spent to get a body.
Yeah, not to buy the figure. I mean, obviously, when they get parted out on tight, I think the bodies will go like that, and the rest of it will just sit around. But
I agree with Doc as well. Like, their Power Rangers weren't great. The other ones, Star Race? The ones I used to have were way better.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And then Big Dog Pound 1. Do you guys like Stranger Things, 11 and Lucas?
I thought 11
the
was
head sculpts.
Right.
11 was okay. It could do with a bit of work. Lucas just looked as though something terrible had happened and he didn't want to talk about it. He was very looking off into the distance.
And Dustin as well, who's a very strange looking fellow anyway.
Dustin had been for a fucking mangler. That was just awful.
Yeah.
This, on the other hand, Nathan Drake.
Looks awesome.
Amazing. Limb Toys. They call it the Unexplored. Unexplored 4. So they've done it 4 times. 180 quid. September to December this year. I love this. I absolutely love this. Limb Toys are so good at video game characters. It's ridiculous.
They are, and also the wealth of accessories you get with these figures as well. Like the cowboy ones have just come with like shitloads of stuff. And I think this is the Uncharted figure that everyone's been waiting for all this time. We had that awful Sideshow official one, which the head sculpt was an atrocity, and people replaced it with customs and everything. But I think this just is fantastic, and like, what you get for your money and stuff. I'd be tempted with this because obviously, to most of us, he is kind of like the modern Indy, the spiritual successor to Indy, along with Lara Croft, and and I like the fact you've got magnetic switchable seamless arms.
These games were amazing. Absolutely loved them.
Love them.
I could play them over and over again. But they are one of the only reasons I keep my PS4.
Yeah. 3 was my favourite, weirdly. I don't think that was a popular one, but...
Oh, and I really liked 3. I liked 3. 3 was good. I even had the one on the PS Vita. The Uncharted on that.
I did.
That was really good as well.
For the short time I owned the Vita, games. I had that as well. But yeah, I love them. I think they're really well done, and having grown up with like Tomb Raider and stuff as well, I love them. So yeah, I'd be quite happy to.
I'm waiting for the Uncharted trilogy to drop a little bit more on Steam, and then I'll get them on PC. Phenomenal games, and this figure is like it's just been ripped straight off the screen.
Yeah, and I think they just like the games. I think the first one was PS3, wasn't it? And it was sort of kind of brought the PS3, into it was a good game for it, and I think just the mechanics and the controls and stuff, they really kind of brought that on a different level.
Yeah,
compared to sort of the earlier Tomb Raiders where they were quite clunky, like the climbing and the shimmying and all that stuff, and this just nailed it and made it like good fun without you just feeling.
There was nothing at the time. There was nothing like this out.
No.
It was brilliant. And then even Tomb Raider then came after this with the remakes and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
they were really good. But it borrowed a lot from this, didn't it? The mechanics and stuff. And this is cool. I like this. I like the base and all the bits and pieces as well. So
this is perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
So then we've got Premier Toys with the the Eagle Warrior, 150 quid plus shipping, April to July 2023. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Have you seen Blackadder?
No, I haven't.
So let's put my cards on. I really like Hawkman as a character, like as a as a superhero. I've always found him quite interesting. It's a very bold look, but it's always I've always been quite intrigued by Hawkman, and he doesn't he's not really featured a lot in sort of movies and everything. So it's nice to have him in.
He was in the Justice League cartoon loads.
Yes,
him and Hawkgirl, Hawkwoman or whatever you want to call her. They were in that loads, but I just don't think it transfers across.
No, it doesn't, and that's the thing. But I actually think they didn't do him too badly in Black Adam. The guy's he's quite crotchety, but it's all because he's very much like he wants to do things the right way. He's got a very sort of strong sense of justice and everything. So he kind of rubs up the wrong way with some of the other guys and Black Adam and that. But so I think in terms of kind of replicating what was on screen, it looks pretty good. But I'm not sure in person how it would translate. How those wings going to be. Are they just like a solid kind of plastic bit you stick on the back? The trousers might look a bit funny. But yeah, I don't hate it, but it'd be interesting to see how it kind of how it comes out, when it's released. How sort of plasticky it might look, how sort of toy-like it might look. But
because it would be nice to get a pair of wings that were like folded in. Like I don't know if he does that in the film, because I've not seen it, but
yeah, he does. Yeah,
just so it's not so big.
Doesn't take up an entire sideboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's a shame it doesn't come with the, with a folded pair, or if you had an option to be like have a deluxe and a standard that one had both lots or something like that. But...
And I'd always be a bit wary because Premier toys tend to screw the pooch a fair bit. Premier toys always, it never quite comes out the way they show it. So yeah. It's one to watch, I think.
Yes.
Present toys, on the other hand, always do very well.
Proven quality now.
Proven track record.
Nice, because we were worrying about them sort of 6 months ago before Indie made it out. We were a bit like, but I think.
Well, up until Indie, everything they've released before had been a bit hit and miss, but since Indie, they've kind of calmed down. I mean, Marty wasn't the best thing in the world, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. No, it's not bad. Not bad. This though,
if you just want it to go in the
looks awesome. 175 quid, Q3 to Q4 2023. And it looks like you get both the jackets.
Yeah.
So you can do a Blade 2 with it. So even if you have the original piece of shit Blade that everyone was going mental for about 8-9 years ago. See this, although I said I was out of Marvel, because to me this isn't like Marvel MCU.
No, me neither. I'd never see it as that. It's a Marvel property, but it's a completely standalone franchise. From
was it the first Blade or the second Blade where he was being such an arsehole when they were filming it? He was laying on this slab and he refused to open his eyes. So they had to CGI some eyes on him.
Yeah. And did you get that from Only Connect?
No, it keeps coming up on. Keeps coming up on Facebook loads of times.
It's funny you mentioned that because on Only Connect there was one of the questions, and the answer was that they had to CGI eyes onto the.
Yeah.
The answer was, and I didn't know that, and I was like, oh, okay.
Because apparently him and I think it was Blade 2. Him and the director did not like each other at all. Like they came to blows and everything on set. And he refused to open his eyes. Had to spend like a stupid amount of money putting fake eyes on it.
That's funny. I like this. I think I agree with people that said it's not necessarily a great likeness of Wesley Snipes, but it's a good Blade. So
I think it's like we said before. You look at it and go, "That looks really good." Then you hold a photo up and go, "Oh, actually, no, it's not." But if anyone walked in and you went, "Who's that meant to be?" They'd 100% know. They wouldn't go, "Don't know."
Yes, no, exactly. And with the shades on, you kind of it's even less of an issue. I wouldn't have a problem. Blade Trinity wasn't a great film either, was it? So I'd understand if that was the one that. First two are bangers. First two are great.
Yes, that's it. Blade Trinity.
It's funny because I kind of remember. I've got a vivid memories of the first one because it was the first time I'd ever saw a DVD. First DVD I ever watched, and I was blown away. I was like, "Fucking hell!"
That first scene in that nightclub with all the blood coming out of sprinklers.
And it's funny to laugh at that now and think like DVD. We're now Blu-ray, 4K. We're on the verge of 8K, but it really was that much better than video. You didn't have like these horrible like scan lines and stuff, and bit where the tape's been chewed up and stuff. So Blade's always kind of stuck with me because of that, and I was like, shit, man, I need to get into this. I think I'd be quite
refuses to cooperate with the IRS. Also.
Yeah. I'd be quite happy with this on my shelf. I wanted a Blade, definitely.
Yeah. So present toys like waging a war against the undead with
the zombie killer.
The zombie killer, 150 quid at about the same time. It's like they give with one hand and take with the other. I don't like this.
No,
it's such a weird sculpt. I think it's the mix of hair and moulded that it's really throwing it off for me.
Yeah. I think everything else other than the head looks pretty good. I'm so done with Rick figures and with Walking Dead. I've got 3 episodes left of the final season, and I'm just crawling on my hands and knees, just trying to get over the finish line.
I'm halfway through, and I'm the same. I just can't be asked.
I've almost hated it for several years now, but I'm just getting through. So I would have no compulsion at all to have this character, but if you're still in the lookout, and it's not been in it for 2 seasons, I think the issue is that they've had to go with rooted hair because the standout look of Walking Dead is that they've all got the mankiest, greasiest, unwashed hair you've ever seen because and he wore that hat for a few seasons, sweated into that profusely, and then gave it to Carl, who never took that off his head. Imagine what if they did a Daryl, how greasy his hair would be. It would have to come with a little tube of grease. So I kind of see where they've done it, but it's not translated well, has it? And so I think he looks animated. He does.
Yeah, Andre's nailed it. I think that's the thing.
Yes.
He looks like a cartoon.
He does. He's like, or the one on the right. It's like a screen grab from a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like an early 2000s PC game.
Yes.
Of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. You know who it is, but it looks fuck all like Andrew Garfield. Not Andrew Garfield. Andrew. What's his
Lincoln.
Lincoln. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, present toys. While we're on present toys,
everyone needs
another butcher. Because if you haven't got this by now and you wanted one, then what is wrong with you?
Where's Stuart Little? Where's Stuart Little? Where's the Grinch?
Mate, so look,
is that guy with the cattle killing thing from No Country for Old Men?
Yep. So we've got this one, which is 140 quid, out Q3 this year. Oh no, SP48 is 140 and SP49 is 130. So there's 2 versions of this.
Yeah. So
because
this one's more expensive, but this one comes with this coat, and I can't see what else. If you ever look at them, what else does?
Slightly different head sculpt, I think. But
so I assume this one, the leather type cap is attached; it doesn't come off, but you can still put the hat on. Whereas this one's got the hair. Which looks weird if you haven't got the hat on, I think, because it's so squished in. But other than that, like everything in the middle is all the same.
Do you know what? This figure has been rammed down our necks so many times, it's put me off ever watching the film again.
Yeah, I know.
I just think, fuck's sake. And then, if that's not enough, and even this Shining Jack as well, if you haven't got one of these by now, and you wanted one, what the fuck's wrong with you? So 145 quid at Q3 2023. I'm fucking fed up of Shining figures. I'm fucking fed up of Butcher figures.
Yeah.
I don't want another fucking Walking Dead. Like,
no.
Fuck off with them. I'm done. I'm fucking done with them.
There's so many other things they could be doing, like figures we've never seen, and they've proven that they've got the quality. There's so many figures that no one's ever touched. From I could name 50 geeky sort of science fiction fantasy figures that they could be doing, but yet we troll out all these. They're all reissues of Red Man. Which
I get it. There's obviously a market for them. People are obviously going to buy them, but I just, once you've been around the block a few times, you kind of go, "Oh, fuck's sake, are we doing this again?" Yeah. And they're all very, very similar. Like, there's not one that's like a standout version compared to the others.
No.
And
it's one of those ones where
but
you could pick and choose. So you get the outfit from here, you get the the head sculpt from here and stuff like that. You could make a decent one. All right, maybe a little bit more expensive than this, but again,
that head sculpt in the middle of him, he looks like the simple kid at school that like laughs too hard at everything.
Yeah.
Not great. Not great.
No.
What the fuck is this next company?
A98 Toys.
A98 Toys, for fuck's sake. Mr. Dawson. And before you Dawson's Creek fans get excited, it's not that Dawson. This is the poor fucker who couldn't get on the door Dawson. At 90 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bargain. It looks nothing like Leonardo DiCaprio.
No.
And I stopped short here because there was another company, I think it was another one, doing his figure from Romeo and Juliet, and I thought, fuck that, I can't. This is scraping the bottom of the barrel, to be fair, and I felt bad putting it in, but
it's worth a laugh. Like,
yeah. And we've got a responsibility to the community. Somebody might like this.
They might do. I doubt they're one of our fans, but they might like it.
Yeah.
In fact, I doubt we've even got fans, but I doubt that anyone. No. Yeah, this is just bad.
This is just bollocks, isn't it? It's not even. Yeah. It's not even what you'd say was his iconic look or anything. From
thing is, right? Objectively, the tailoring looks pretty good. Their paint apps are pretty good. I don't think the likeness is there, but you can kind of tell who it is. But I don't know who would want it. For 90 quid. All right, it's pretty well done, but I don't know why they've given him that like splayed out hand. The one that's normally the action hand.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck was he doing?
It's even a little bit too flat to cup one of Kate Winslet's breasts, isn't it? It's a little bit more like a slap.
Yeah,
it's a slapping hand.
It's kind of like that. It's just why.
No,
not great. This is
Mario.
Gatsby.
Mario, however you like to say it. Mario, nice to see you, mate.
Hello. He's been here for a while.
See, I liked this before. Now I hate it.
The thing is, first time I saw it, I was like, "This is great," and then I didn't realise that someone had actually broken Doc Brown's fucking nose. So this is the 1/6 kit custom Doc Brown head sculpt at £35 out Q2 this year, so next month. When it was first shown, I was like, but the thing is, I still think it's better than the Hot Toys one.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, it feels like it's a Hot Toys recast with the hair and everything, and it's just, they've changed the eyes. It just looks. I thought it looked brilliant, and I was like, I'm going to have that. And then when I saw the pictures on OSK once kit, I thought it's ventured into that cartoon look a bit that we felt that the Dean Tolliver one had. Granted, it's like a third of the price of that, and it's painted. It might be worth a punt, but I
think for 30 quid, 35, you could get it. And there's enough there'd be enough people that want one that didn't pre-order that if you didn't like it, you could just get rid of it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe it's one but you got. It might be worth just getting it in hand.
Yeah.
Put it up against.
And the thing
Hot
is,
Toys.
if you've got all of the docks, and you've got the dock Back to the Future 2 dock on your shelf, it makes sense. This looks significantly older, so it would be fine for the dock from Back to the Future 1. Yeah. And I think if you had them together, it would look absolutely fine and it would make perfect logical sense. Mm-hmm. But if you've only got one dock and this is the head sculpt you put on there,
do you feel like there's something odd with the ears? They look very
pointy.
plain and but they look like they've got no detail in them.
Fuck yeah, I hadn't noticed that. Where's the little bit?
They're like donkey ears.
Where's that bit?
Yeah, exactly. Where's the bit at the bottom and the sort of that's what jumps out to me. It's the ears, and I don't know if I could get. I mean, it might be a really bad photo, but I don't think it would have washed out that much.
It's like they're smoothed out.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah, now you pointed it out. Thanks, Pete. That's what I can fucking say.
They're a bit odd. I think if you cover them up, it instantly looks better. But I don't know if there's anything you could. I mean, you could sculpt some hair over them, I suppose, but it does look better if I cover the ears up, definitely. But
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
That's weird. Yeah, and particularly if it's like, as it looks, it's kind of like it's very similar to the Hot Toys one. And I don't think the ears look weird on that one. I'll have to have a look afterwards, but they don't look like that. So I don't know what's gone on with the ears, but bit
yeah, now you mention it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very weird. So
I mean, it's all probably fixable with a bit of paint. You could.
I don't know how much paint can you put into sculpt ears.
I know, but
I'd have to see one in hand
you could
now.
Be clever, you could be clever with some shadows and stuff, I suppose. But yeah,
it's paint. It's not fucking magic.
No, I know. Yeah.
I agree with Andre. I think it's a better look. I think it's a better fit for the dock from Back to the Future 1. Yeah, I think if you put this on dock from Back to the Future 2, it would look really fucking weird.
Maybe I'll take one
for
suits. Maybe I'll take one for the team and I'll order one and see what it looks like in hand for that price. And then, if I hate it, I'll be able to sell it on one. So
this next one I was tempted to order, though. Tempted to order 2.
Yeah. Were you?
Red Guard costume set, 90 quid, out Q3 this year. So soon. I was tempted. Like, I don't know why someone hasn't done this before. I don't know why people haven't been doing this with Hot Toy Star Wars figures for fucking ages.
Yeah. I mean, this figure baffles me. I don't know why the hell people pay 350 quid.
No.
For such a basic figure.
I've never understood that.
So this is very welcome if you want them. I mean, I kit bashed one with a Hot Toys head and stuff, and to be honest, I could just get rid of him tomorrow. It doesn't really add anything to my display. I don't think. I know people want the Emperor in the Throne and one either side, but they're like, particularly if you're buying the Hot Toys, they're very expensive. Yeah.
Everyone wants that, but I don't think they ever stood either side of him. They always stood next to the lift.
Yeah.
So it's always a bit of a weird one.
I know it is a weird one. It's like
I would do exactly the same thing.
People swear blind they saw that in the film, but they never did. They're just very. I just think I'd find they're quite underwhelming, if you like, and obviously you don't see any of that stuff once you've got the outer. It is just the head and this big cloak. You might see. You might just see the the front of his boots. So 90 quid's not bad, but then if you stick you add a body in, you're looking at you're up 120, 130. It's still not bad, but I think having made my own one, I'm just a bit like, it's all right. And it
problem is, back in the day, you could pick up like a Hasbro one and just fudge that in. Yeah. And you'd change a lot of it. You'd only really want the helmet and the outer robes.
Yeah.
But even that's like a £90 option now, so you might as well just go down this route.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think if you've been after one, there's no doubt this is going to be worth it. I don't know if it's by the same. It looks if it's the same people that did the Anakin one a while back. It looks very similar in the way they've laid it out and everything, and that was decent. That was decent quality. So I think it's worth it if you want one. But I never really got the hype about these guys. Yeah, they're well done, but they're background characters, aren't they? And to spend 350 quid, and people say you've got to have two. You know, that's 700 quid. That's ludicrous.
And that's the problem. And I get what Andre's saying. You know, the quality has to be good on the cape and that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And you're right, they do. It does have to, but that's not hard to do.
No.
Like, it's not. It really isn't. And yeah, and you know, they're only that expensive because people have drawn the price up that much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just insanity. But yeah, for 90 quid, I don't think it's too bad. And like you say, for background characters, job done.
I like that they've put a fat suit in. I mean, why the heck would you put that on? I mean,
well,
we spend half our life taking them off of figures.
Do you know what the funny thing is? This is blatantly the Hot Toys set, right? And you can tell because you can see where they've actually cut the fat suit off of the body, because you've got that slit where the gooch is.
Yes. Yeah,
where they've cut it to slide it off. Yeah. Yeah. So this isn't going to be what you get. You're going to get a different set than this, but
yeah. I suppose that's a bit telling that, and it'd be interesting if they do put a fat suit in there, because they'll just be like completely oblivious to the fact that most people hate them and they're completely unnecessary. But they'll put
particularly for this figure. What's the fucking
point? Exactly, because he's going to be under this massive great cloak, so it would make no difference whatsoever. It'd probably just make it look worse because it would make it look like he's got a big belly or something. So it's just funny. It's funny they've got the fat suit in there. Like anyone would actually choose to put that on their figure. You know, and obviously if they do provide that as part of the set, how they're going to do it, it's going to have to be cut at the bottom, isn't it, to get it on? Because Hot Toys sew them on. So it's very funny. Be interested to see if it comes with it. I don't know if it lists it. I'll have to look at the listing and see.
Let's have a look. But
have a look.
It just seems weird that they would put that in. But, you know, for the price, it's pretty good. But look, while we've been talking about all this up and coming stuff, one thing that I always notice when we go through all of this is how much money people want for pre-orders. The pre-order deposit itself, right? So some places 25 quid, other places, like some stuff for, I would say for that Batman, I saw someone wanted like 120 odd quid for a pre-order. Just you had to put 120 down, and that's it. That you secured your spot. You've got it. Now,
sorry,
I would
just
never.
To interrupt you, I'm going to go through the list of what we've got. So we've got head, hand, not hands, hand times 6. We've got plastic clothing.
What's the plastic?
Because then you've
helmet. Is that what they're on about?
You've got because you've got head. You've got trousers, robe, sash, red cape, shoes, sword. So that plastic clothing must be that fat suit.
Must be the fat suit.
So you're going to get something, but it's not even plastic, is it? The Hot Toys one.
No.
It's material.
Material.
So, interesting. There's obviously some rather dodgy translation gone on there anyway. But
just a bit. Google Translate's having a bit of a fit.
Yeah, so go on. So we'll talk about
so saying pre-orders, deposits.
Mm-hmm.
So certain places want, the price seems to vary depending on where you go. Some places there's no deposit needed. Other places there's deposit. Some places, like I said, that Batman, 120 odd quid. I think I saw it. What's your cut off? Like, because I personally, I'm just not pre-ordering anything anymore. But if you were to pre-order something, if someone said to you, so say you had your Grail figure, there's a figure there you really fucking want it. Yeah. What's the pre-order that you would pay? Yeah. Does it depend on who you're pre-ordering off of, or is it just there's a certain limit?
Is there anybody that you can order without any pre-order, any deposit at all now? Probably not.
I think it depends what it is. I've seen some where you can just say, I want one.
Right.
but normally that's a lot of the third party stuff that's only like
and I think
150 something like that.
a lot of sellers, resellers, whatever, have gone away from that because they've been burnt on. Particularly, I think with like probably Star Wars Force Awakens started that, where they ordered up shitloads of stuff, and they couldn't shift it. So that I think they're wary of taking orders without at least some money to kind of mitigate people that cancel. So yeah, that's an interesting one. I think we kind of touched on it before when I said that I would always go with I always used to buy my get my pre-orders with Toys Buying Agent. Fantastic guy, great service, never had any issues. Prices were always good until we had the whole bloody interest rate, conversions just go tits up. So, whereas we were getting pretty good prices, so if it was 2,000 Hong Kong dollars, that probably would be about 150 quid. Now that's like 250 quid. So they've got more expensive anyway, and they used to be 20% down for second batch. I was quite happy with that. So you'd be putting down about say 40 quid for a £200 figure. I was quite happy with that. They then at some point switched to 50%, so half up, and I did that on a few figures. I've got some still with him where I paid up half, and I kind of justified it, just thinking, well, I've got to pay it at some point. I take the pain now, but obviously when it releases, I've only got half to pay. And I suppose in this situation where the value of the pound has just gone tits up, then obviously that benefits me because I've only got to pay 50% at the new rate rather than 80%. But at the same time, I have now switched. So all of my recent pre-orders I've done with 16 Kit. Again, another fantastic guy to deal with, brilliant service, and that's normally probably about 20%, I think. So, for example, on the in-art Gandalf and Aragorn, I think it's about £60 down on like a 400 just over 400 quid figure. So that's kind of, I wouldn't really want to pay more than that. I think I've put 80 quid down on the DeLorean, so that was about a 10%, I think. So I think it does differ depending on what it is, but I think I kind of got to the point where I wasn't happy to pay 50%, and particularly now I could kind of justify it in the fact that I would always get my stuff really early, even if it was second batch. But now, now that Sideshow's getting stuff out quickly, not that I'm saying I'd buy from Sideshow because it would cost me more money, but the fact is that I still haven't got my my Chromando, and yet people are getting them out of Sideshow now, and that's a little bit annoying. I went with second batch, but second batch was always ahead of Sideshow still by a couple of months. So it's not quite as...
The thing is, everyone bashes Sideshow's prices. Now, I pre-order stuff with Sideshow all the time.
Yeah.
Because when I look at how much I pay when it comes through and how much I can... like, because even if I go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever batch, when it does work out more expensive, it's only ever, for me personally, this is just me, it's only ever worked out like 10, maybe 15 quid more expensive.
Yeah.
But I end up saving that and some because of the reward points and stuff like that. And unlike other places where, like currently, the place I hate to shop, Toys Wonderland, because if I have used them in the past, I've got like 160 quid's worth of points with them. I can only use 10% of them at a time.
Right, okay. So it's not even...
Otherwise...
go, right, I'll just get a figure, get rid of them, tell them to fuck off.
Because when I saw that, I thought, brilliant, I'll just grab Django or something. I only pay like 40 quid.
Yeah.
No, I can only use 10% at a time. So that's just going to keep restocking. That it's just a waste of time.
And their name just continues to fall further and further, doesn't it? They threaten to take people to the police and all this bollocks. And
it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
So, at least with Sideshow, I get decent points. They chuck coupons at me all the time. But yeah, they seem to be getting stuff out a lot quicker. But at least with them, I pay like 20 quid.
Yeah.
To put to pre-order something. You know, when I saw, and the thing is as well, is some of these people who are doing pre-orders are like one-man bands. So you'll have someone in the UK who takes the pre-order and someone in Hong Kong who goes out and gets the figures.
Yeah.
And they're kind of the broker that you're dealing with, as opposed to someone in Hong Kong who's just going to go and get you it. So I've had it before. The first time I ordered a Infinity War Thanos, paid up. The guy supplier in Hong Kong did a runner. I was out 40 quid. It wasn't the guy's fault. I know the guy, and he's a mate and he's on the level, but I was still 40 quid out. And now if people want like over £100 deposit, well, what am I going? You know, I'm not going to do that.
No, there is that, and obviously, you know, a lot of these resellers have popped up. There's a lot more like on Facebook now. Where they're UK based, and if you order from them, the stock is in the UK and you do get it, you know, the next day or whatever. But obviously you pay a fair premium for that, and that's fine. But obviously, the risk with, you know, possible 2-year, I think they're coming down again a bit now, but say a 2-year wait list, is that reseller still going to be doing it in 2 years' time? I mean,
because at the moment they're quoting a year. They're quoting a year.
Yeah.
Won't be a year, be a year and a half. At the best.
And obviously that puts you well outside of any PayPal claims or anything like that. So, so I wouldn't go with, you know, I've used Toys Buying Agent for years, and I don't think he's going anywhere. And 1/6 kit is brilliant, and that's like a proper shop, proper business sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would. I'm not prepared to pay as much as I would have done in the past.
The thing is, like Caffeinated Coffee fan says, comic fan says, he started looking at UK people, and there's some really good UK people about who are proper shops and reputable and all of that, and that's great. But what I'm finding at the moment is they're getting their stuff in so much later that people are actually selling the figure off second hand by the time they've even got theirs out the door.
This is what's annoying. I mean, like Dave, our mate Dave, he literally got his classic suit Spider-Man, didn't he, like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I've had that thing like over a year.
Yeah.
And, you know, he could have bought that 50 times over second hand.
Probably cheaper than it.
Yeah, and it must be so frustrating, just like, where's my order? You know, and that is the argument about why bother to pre-order anything, because you're going to get a lot of people that you're always going to get people that order them from Hong Kong and pay a fortune to get first batch, get it in hand. A month later, they're bored of it, and you can pick that up for, you know, probably what you'd pay for second batch.
Yeah.
I mean, I have got some pre-orders, so I'm not necessarily practicing what I preach, because some things I do like to, you know, I definitely want that. I'm going to get that in, and at least you have paid some of it off. But I think, and obviously things like in art, you know, I wouldn't want to risk not getting one of those. And dare say they'll show up in the secondary market, but probably be massively inflated to start with.
I mean, I'm playing with fire.
Yeah.
Because I want this episode 2 Anakin and Padme. I've not pre-ordered, and I'm going to say right nearer the time when it comes up to them being close to being released, I'll see if I can pre-order it, because Sideshow seem to not really sell out of pre-orders. They tend to get more like that. And worst case scenario, I'll pay a little bit extra and I'll get a second hand one or something nearer the time. But I just, you know, I'd rather have the money in my pocket today than, and particularly, you know, back in the day when it was like 20 quid to pre-order, like, I just fucking, no problem, bam, 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 lovely.
Yeah. And,
I mean, last year I cancelled a load, didn't I? It was so cheap to pre-order. I pre-ordered practically everything, and then went through and went, don't want it.
No, because I've got a similar issue with 1/6 kit. I ordered the Saturn Toys Dynamic Duo and the Mars Toys Joker, and also the Present Toys Clint Eastwood Good Bad Nuggy figure. But things have changed now, and I've ordered the in-art Gandalf and Aragorn, so I've got to let those figures go. And it's like, you think, well, if you've only put, like, say you did it at Sideshow, you put 20 quid, you can say, right, okay, I can write off. I mean, that'd be 60 quid. I think I'm in for more like £100 for those three with 1/6 kit. Now, I could probably message him and see whether I can shift that to something else. I feel a bit rough doing that for three figures. I have done it once, I think, in the past. So you kind of, the more you've paid in, so like, for example, with 1/6 Toys by an Agent, then because I've paid 50% up, I would take those figures and sell them on. There's no way I would cancel those. I don't even know what would happen. I don't think you kind of can cancel, really. You just give away that money. So, you know, obviously that does make it, the more you put down, the more committed you are to going through with that. And it's not necessarily a problem, because particularly with Hot Toys, if you get that figure in, you can sell it the next day. And you won't lose much money, if any at all. So you've always got that kind of reassurance. So most of the time I won't cancel. I'll get the figure in, and I'll sell it on. And sometimes you make a few quid, you know, because you've got one in early and people want it and they'll pay. But I think for those other ones, like the third party stuff, I don't think it's quite the same kind of resale market there. So I'll probably just take the hit on those.
I think that if I was you, I'd go ahead with the Blondie. That's the only one I'd go ahead with, just to see what it's like in hand.
Yeah, possibly, and that probably wouldn't be a problem selling it on if it turns out decent. Yeah, I'll just keep it. I haven't done anything. I haven't cancelled them or anything at the moment. I'm just going to wait till like the invoices come out from them and just decide then. Whether I take them and sell them, or, you know, I mean, that's probably the sensible thing to do anyway. It's just like, what, can I be bothered, or would I just like go, yeah, I just don't want them? But I'll see nearer the time. But yeah, I think I'm in probably for about 100 quid across those three releases with kit. So yeah, I think the simple answer is less is better. You know, NRDs. You know, you're just looking to secure your chance to buy it when it finally releases. And if you've only put down 10% and it turns out that it's garbage, it's a lot easier to walk away from it than. It's fine if the figure's fantastic and you just decide you don't want it, because you can sell it on. But if it turns out it's dog shit and you need to sell it, then, and you know, and you've put 50% down, you're a bit stuck. You've got to take it and see if you can shift it. But on the whole, if it's Hot Toys, you'd be all right. But yeah, no, it's a good question. It's a good question.
Yeah, it just got me thinking when I saw these massive pre-order prices. I was like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah, and also, you know, we're in bad times at the moment, you know, with interest rates and currency and stuff like that. So, you know, hopefully things can't get a lot worse. I know they're going to with our energy bills in April, but, you know, it could well be that things are very different in a year or a year and a half when these things come out. We could be in a much better place. So you'd end up saving money by waiting as well, with that very, very small risk that you couldn't get one. But I think, as you said, ultimately, even if you buy a used one, you're going to get that figure. You know, you're not going to not be able to get it. It's just whether or not you get it at the cheapest price.
And at the end of the day, people only unpack these and put them on a shelf. It's not like they've got any real wear and tear to them.
No.
So
no, you can break some. You know, you can break an accessory or something like that. But you know, we don't mind. We're quite happy with a partly broken.
Oh, I love people who fuck. I love people who fuck their figures up. They're like, they're amazing for me. I'm like, yeah, I'll have it. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll fix it. No worries.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't say that to them. You go, oh yeah, that's really bad. I think that's fucked. I'll give you 50 quid for it. And you're like, yes, I can fix that.
The thing that always annoys me is when they go, oh well, he's got a broken arm. You go, all right, yeah, no worries. I'll give you what you're asking for. And you get it and go, the arm's fucked, this is fucked, that's fucked, that's fucked, that's fucked. And I think, am I being cheeky asking for a bit more off? And I go, no, fuck it. And go, you told me the arm was fucked. All of this is fucked as well. And they go, oh, right. yeah, all right, yeah. All right, I'll give you another 20 quid off. You go, yeah, you fucking cheeky bastard. Equan. Just use a generic narrow shoulder really body then, mate.
Yeah. You go, something for like 15, 20 quid or do you? Because as long as it's solid and stands up, you're not going to see any of it. You won't know. And just a really cheap one. Yeah, Zavi. They're dodgy as fuck. They are.
Yeah. If it's in stock, not a problem. But anything that you pre-order.
No, it's Zavi that famously fucked me on Chewbacca all those years ago. The New Hope Chewbacca. I pre-ordered with them, and then at some point before he came out, they just cancelled it, and then I couldn't get one anywhere, and I ended up paying a little bit over the odds on eBay for him. But yeah, since then I'd never pre-order. I mean, like steelbooks and stuff's fine, but not figures, because I just think I don't know, sometimes they just don't get stuff. So, damn, Pete, you sound like me on the phone. Wife told me I'm not allowed to call the school anymore, though. What the fuck does that mean?
Mark sounds like a bit of an nonce.
Yeah.
Anyway, so custom corner, Pete. What you been working on? Let's have a look.
I've been very busy.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
So...
I don't remember that scene from Fantastic Beasts though on the left.
You're not supposed to recognise that as Newt Scamander. Like the missus came in, she went, "Is that
What's
Newt
doing?"
I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh." I said, "Well, I've kept the head and stuff. I could put it back, but for the time being, it's yeah." So let's just roll this back a bit. So, Universal Monsters. I've always loved them. I owned the original Sideshow Wolfman, Frankenstein's Monster, and Dracula back in the day. Back when I first got into 1/6, you could get them really cheap, and I picked them up and stuff, and they were cool at the time. They're long gone. You all know that I talked a lot about the caustic plastic Dracula that you see there, and that I really wanted him, and I couldn't justify it. And then I had a bit of a win on the Exorcist 6 Kirk. Basically got this guy for about 20 quid. So, and I always had a plan to make a diorama for him. So I made the steps, and that was cool. But obviously, I couldn't leave it there. I was going to, and then you started talking to me. We were talking about like me putting together Frankenstein's monster, and the sculpts are available and stuff. So I had a look there, and I was like, yeah, I could do that. The the suit that's a Hot Toys Alfred, the Michael Caine suit. I got that for like 30 quid. I put a big body under. There's a black T-shirt. Some shoes. I built them up with some air drying clay, painted up the sculpts and stuff. And I went for it's a difficult one because it's like, well, yes, the makeup was green, but that was only to make it look pale white on screen, because monochrome film does weird things to kind of colours. So I kind of went with, as he was described in like the original book, more like a sort of like a purpley sort of bruised, pale colour. So I spent a lot of time. There's a lot of layers and a lot of like taking stuff off and putting stuff back on. And is that too heavy? I think I'm happy with him now.
He looks good.
Yeah, and we've got like the real metal chains and stuff. So that was that, and I made the diorama. And these the candle and the torch light up. I've got flickering lights in those as well. So then I was like, right, okay, so what else can I... Well, Wolfman's cool. They're kind of like the major thread. I used to have this figure. So this is the Sideshow figure, but with a clothing swap, because the clothes were like, like the old Sideshow ones, like the buttons were way too big, they were way too baggy. So I thought, well, I can get a decent shirt and trousers. So this was the black and white version, and I thought, well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to paint it anyway. I need to repaint it because the stock paint is awful. So got that in. I think it was about 40 quid. Repainted it all. You can't sort the body because it's got these, like the old Sideshow. They had these funny.
Yeah.
They didn't come off, and the feet are obviously like they're kind of attacked. You can't get. So I thought, well, actually, I don't need to do anything with the body. I just need to sort the clothes out. Yeah, that turned out really well. This base here is the one that came with the Sideshow Scout Trooper.
Yes, yeah, I've still got that.
Yeah,
it's a good base.
It is brilliant. So like, he's got the log, and I've sort of put some water effects on here. So that was really cool. So I'm like, yeah, brilliant. I've got the 3 of them. Okay, I've got a female body going spare. I can wrap it. This is the Leia head from the original Slave Leia outfit that came out, not the one that came out last year, but the one before it.
Yes, yeah.
And obviously I'd used a proper Hot Toys one and transferred the hair and everything. So I had this, but obviously like it had no back piece to the hair. I was like, you know what? I think I could probably make that work. So I got the air drying clay out again, and that worked out well. Just cut a bit of white cloth, and we've got the Bride of Frankenstein. And then Invisible Man. I thought I could do Invisible Man, and I had this idea that I wanted to kind of make the head from cloth or paper mache, so you could kind of, like, he was running away from the cops and it was coming loose.
It's unraveling, yeah.
Yeah, and I first of all I did it with material cloth, but when I tried to take it off, it didn't stick together properly. I moulded it on a head. I moulded it onto the Sideshow Sam Jackson head because it's got a bald head. So then I just redid it with like kitchen paper. But it obviously dried better as a more solid. Cut it down the back, took the head sculpt out, glued a proper neck peg into the neck bit, and glued it at the back. And it looks really cool actually.
It looks. I like that.
So that is Newt Scamander. So it's not really representing the Universal one, because theirs was obviously set in the 30s. So but I thought it looked quite, and obviously the original novel H.G. Wells is like Victorian, so this works perfectly. So yeah, poor Newt, his head, and he's been relegated to but yeah, that works. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. And the missus is like, are you done? Are you making any more? No. And I was like, I need a mummy. So and again, the body's fine. It's a body. You wrap it in cloth. Head sculpt, I had a look, and there was I couldn't find anyone doing like a custom Boris Karloff. So obviously it's the same guy as Frankenstein's monster. But Trick or Treat Studios did some busts, 1/6 scale busts a few years ago, and the Karloff mummy one was really good. Now they're probably more like 1/5. Because you can see that head's quite big on that body. In hindsight, I would have picked up a bigger body, but this is just one I had left, and I didn't really want to spend money on a body. But so I did all the wrapping and all the colouring and everything. That took quite a while. I made a little base, like a sand base and stuff. So it kind of came from like one figure to making a whole set. But I'm really pleased with how they came out, and apart from, it didn't really cost probably all in, not counting Dracula, who I kind of got almost for free anyway. Probably only about £100 worth of bits and pieces. And I'm still getting the mummy. That's the mummy accessories. That's from NECA. I'm still getting the NECA figures as well. But I'm kind of wondering whether or not I'll keep them long term, because they were to scratch an itch that I had for Universal Monsters. But now I've got the 6 scale ones, I may end up not keeping the NECA ones. I'm going to basically buy all the ones I want and get them together. And if I sell them, I'll sell them as like as a lot. They are really nice. But you just it's just that additional impact you've got with 1/6 and with real clothes and stuff like that I might sort of look at the NECAs, put them out, and go, they're not doing it for me now. So I'm undecided, but I've got a few more of them coming in next week. So, but I'll keep them for now. But yeah, it's you know, if anything, it's good because it's just kind of sparked that. There's the only other one. There's Mondo did a Creature from the Black Lagoon, but I can't get one for a decent price because they only seem to be in America. And to be honest, he's not one of my. He's not. He kind of gets lumped in with the classic monsters, but I don't really consider him to be. It was like in the 50s, that film, so it's a good 20 years after most of these. And so I'm not that bothered. I looked and I thought if I could get one for like you know, under 200 quid, but I think they were from the States with shipping and customs, it was like 300 quid, and I thought, no, I don't want him that badly. Yeah, that's me. So I mean,
it looks really good. So, I really like them.
Yeah. So I obviously had to dedicate a whole shelf. So I've had to juggle some other bits and pieces around. I haven't actually got rid of anything, so I've done all right. And I have still got this whacking great space. So basically, I went outside. I went into the shed and I got a big bit of wood, and I kind of extended my. So there's like a DVD shelf there. So I just basically built this big bit that sits on top of it, kind of doubled the space I had, so I could move these up, and then there's enough room to have the DeLorean with Doc and Marty on the lower level now. So that's cool. So it's good. So it's good. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to start putting some more shelves up on other walls, I think, now though, because I'm really, really pushing the space.
Yeah.
But.
No,
yeah,
like Mark says, the posters look great.
Yeah, they came with the Blu-ray set.
Yeah.
So I got a Blu-ray set I bought a few years ago, and it's really nice having all the original posters. Just stick them up, and it just kind of
ties it all together.
Yeah, it does. Just sort of just finishes it off. So because I've also got some really nice artwork that Alex Ross, that did all the DC stuff and that did for them, but. I think he did them for the Steelbook Blu-ray covers, and I've got them on like photo card. But they're all in black and white, and they didn't have the punch of these posters. So I went with the colour posters. But I'm happy with that. It's all turned out pretty well. So yeah, horror lineup. Yeah, for me it's always been the Universal Monster. I've had other horror figures. I've had a Freddy. I've had bits and pieces, and they've kind of moved on. But I like the fact that here I can put together like a coherent collection, and they're not sort of one-offs,
it all ties in.
Yeah, and I've still got Pennywise, and I won't get rid of him, but I've kind of got him on his own now on the table, and I moved my Mandalorian diorama out of the corner here. And he's on the table as well, ready for his return on Wednesday. So that's looking forward to that. So so I've had a lot of fun with those actually with these figures.
It looks. I really like it. I really like it.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see whether or not we'll see some more figures, either official or unofficial, on the back of this Dracula, because the Dracula's gone down really well with collectors and stuff, and it'd be good to see if we get some more figures, but yeah. So what have you been up to, mate? You've been doing some more.
I've been doing more 40k. Well, I did. Yeah. I forgot about it, but I did 2 6-scale heads, which was that one, which is what's her face, little Mandalorian lady from Clone Wars, Sabine, and this Japanese actor, which I cannot remember his name. So I did those 2.
The samurai. Kind of
so I did those 2.
Yeah.
But then I did some 40k bits and pieces. So I've been using. So I've always liked weathering stuff, and 40k has taught me a couple of new little weathering techniques, like this tank. So this Land Raider Spartan. I used all-base paints for the first time painting minis. So you can get like Rush Streak paint and stuff like that, and you get these. You go and buy like Winsor Newton all-base paints, and what you do is you fucking larrup it, absolutely larrup the whole model in this all-base paint. You leave it about 5-10 minutes till it starts going tacky,
Yeah.
Then you get some white spirit and a little Q-tip or your bud thing. Start scraping it off. Just start rubbing it off so it sits in the recesses, stains it all.
Yeah.
And it goes that really brown kind of worn look. So I thought that's handy. But this is Death Guard, so these guys are they're just dirty fuckers. So you can get this rush streak paint, and the idea is you go along and you paint all your rush streaks on, but you just literally go boom, 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 boom. You wet like a wide brush in white spirit, and then just flick it across, and it pulls all the streaks, and they look like runs. So like that on the front, it all looks like it's run down.
Yeah.
I've got some weathering powders that I've started doing with some fixers and stuff. I haven't used those on this yet. And then you get this mud paint that is just a brush destroyer. Whatever you put in it will just absolutely fuck up. So you use an old shit brush. And I wanted a tank that had gone through dirt and shit, and it just absolutely caked up for the crap. So I didn't spend too much time painting these treads with too much detail because they were going to get larruped. You put this stuff on it. When it's wet, it looks absolutely disgusting. Once it dries back like this, you leave it like 24 hours, and then it all crusts and clags like that.
Yeah.
That stuff was fantastic. But I'm absolutely loving the weathering and doing the weathering on these tanks and vehicles and stuff.
Yeah, I love the bit on that, the one on the bottom left near the back with the really red, like where the water's run down, and that looks really cool.
You get a lot more control with the all-base paints, and it gives you a lot more time for you to mess around with it.
Right.
And actually, you can get away with blue murder, because actually the paintwork on that tank itself, most of it was sprayed white. I picked out a few panels. I didn't go too mental on it because I wanted them to look white and dirty. But yeah, anyone who's doing any kind of 6-scale stuff, you can transfer that across to 6-scale, particularly dios and things like that, and the weathering powders and stuff like that. Get fixers for it. Will make your dios and some of the weathering on like armor and stuff look really good.
Yeah.
And then my mate sent me this little dude on this chaplain on a bike to paint. And I think I did use weathering powder on that, but you can just about make it out on the bottom, that red piece on the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, weathering powders and weathering kits and stuff like that. You can get. I'd used weathering powders for years. I'd used it with 6-scale. I'd used it on clothes and stuff.
Weathering powders. Yeah.
The problem is, after a while, they will rub off. If you handle it too much, they come off.
Yeah.
If you're using them on hard goods like the boots and things like that, use a bit of airbrush thinner, dab it on the bits that you want to weather, and then apply it, and it'll stick to it, and it'll stay, and it won't ever rub off.
Yeah.
Don't do it on the clothing, for fuck's sake. But the rest of it, should work really well. But I just don't get as much time to paint as I used to. So I've done like 2 6-scale heads. I've still got another like 5 or 6 to do, and I've got even shit like Mortarian, like this giant 40k model. I've got stuff like that I'm pissing about with. So I'm hoping I can get back to a bit more 6-scale this year. And there's a few bits and pieces I've seen that I kind of want to have a go at. But
I've really got into it, as you can see from the couple of dios, just going and grabbing a load of foam board from Hobbycraft, and it's amazing what you could do with that stuff.
It's fantastic.
It's
fantastic.
Really good. Yeah.
And expanding foam is also good. So if you ever want to make dios and you want to make clusters of rocks and things like that, in fact, I made some down here for 40k. So rock clusters and things like that. That's expanding foam. I had to fill a bit round my window, and I had this whole can of expanding foam. And once you've used it once, that's it. You might as well fucking throw it away.
Yeah.
So I laid out a load of tinfoil on a desk and just made these giant fucking mounds, and then you just leave it 24 hours to dry. Start hacking away at it with a long bladed knife. Mould it into rock formations and whatever you want, and then just spray it black and paint it up. Like this, like foam, expanding foam and the foam board, it's just fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like particularly for wargaming, it's great, and for like the dios for 6-scale stuff is also fantastic.
Yeah,
you can do so much with it.
Taking the boy to there's a local like kind of second-hand sort of wargaming sale thing on. I hadn't seen one before, but yeah, it's just up the road, so we're going to go and see what they've got. They've got some bargain bins. There's pictures of some tanks, which you'll be all over. So
yeah,
we're going to see what we can find.
Have a look at there's a guy on YouTube who literally buys second-hand models and doesn't back up.
Right.
But if you go down that route, go on Amazon and buy an ultrasonic cleaner that they use for like jewellery and stuff like that. Because if you buy a second-hand model and it's caked in paint, you drop it in it. Yeah, even if it's just glued, you can drop it in it and it breaks it all down and cleans it all up. I bought a big set of Chaos Space Marines that had all been had bits had kind of been painted and that, and I was going to repaint it. Took them around to my mate's house and he dumped it in its ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, it was like they'd never seen paint before.
Oh wow, that's cool.
They were that good,
and I just don't know if they work. If they work those things, but clearly they do.
Fantastic. Like I was like, oh, that's another cool little gadget I'm gonna have to pick up at some point.
Yeah,
but because you can save a fortune on stuff like this on eBay. Yeah. Like that Mortarian that I just showed you that I bought, that's a £100 model at Games Workshop. I got it for £50 part assembled.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's such a big model, there's only a couple of ways that you could part assemble it anyway. So he pretty much made it up how I would have anyhow. So it's worth scouring the place because you can get stuff.
This is the thing, and I said to him, we've got at least I've got an idea now of, because I wouldn't a year ago I wouldn't have had a clue. At least I know kind of what they go for new, and then what I think is a decent price for a used one, depending on like how beaten it up if it is, or bits and pieces. Because even like if you had one that was beaten up, for a diorama, if you want a downed tank or something, you'd spend a tenner on it, but you're not going to spend 25, 30 quid on it. So I'm going to have to rein him in a bit and say, look, don't use your poker face. Go, they're a bit, a bit more than I want. Not go in and go, yes, I want the whole box.
Yeah, I'll have everything.
Exactly.
How much?
No, you got to go, I might be, but I'm not paying that for it. You've got to kind of strike a deal. So hopefully he'll find some bits that he wants. He's not going in with any specific requirements, but if he sees some tanks, I'm sure he's going to want to pick a few of those up. We've already got 5 or 6, I think. We haven't got this one.
No, this is the This you got in the big Horus Heresy box set. This is Spartan Land Raider. It's got 2 quad las cannons on it, so you can play them in 40k, but they're the point wise they're so expensive because they're a bit of a beast. Yeah. But I just use them as a normal Land Raider. But if you ever get a chance, have a look at that Horus Heresy box set. You get so much in there for your money.
Yeah, I will do, and I'll definitely have a look at those paints if you send me the link. Cause,
I'll ping you a link and I'll send you a load of videos.
He'll be really interested because he's really sort of trying to get into like weathering and working out how to do that. So this would make that quite a bit easier, I think.
Because you can do this on anything, any armour, anything like that, and it works really well. And all you're doing is you can go to like Hobbycraft and just buy some Winsor Newton black,
for
burnt sienna, stuff like that, and
you don't have to buy expensive stuff.
No, and you can make washes and stuff with them as well that are really good.
Cool.
So yeah. That was pretty much all I've been working on. I've been pretty slow. Go on, give us a rundown on this thing because I'm tempted just to wait for it to come out.
Yeah. So I think it kind of, I initially wasn't too bothered. I could have kind of passed it and said, I'll wait till it comes out on Disney Plus. But it was half term. I had a day off. The missus had bought like a load of tickets on Groupon way back. It was like £5 for a ticket. And she bought 10 of them. So we had a load of tickets that we got to kind of use by the end of March, I think. So I was like, I'd go see that. So she gave me a couple of codes, and I think I upgraded to Premiere. So it cost me like £6. So we went like really early. Went at 9 o'clock on the day it opened, and there was about 6 other people in the cinema. It was quite nice. I really enjoyed it. I didn't go in with any expectations. I'd seen the trailer and I was like, it looks a bit. It's kind of it feels very Guardians, not in the sort of comedy, but just because it's all in the quantum universe, the quantum realm. So everything is CGI. So they obviously did all this acting against like green screens and stuff. But it's really well done, and there's some really cool like different characters that you kind of think, oh, how the hell did they come up with that? The only detriment is that there's so many special effects people that it took an age to get to the scene at the end of the credits. I was like, oh fucking hell! Looking at my parking, going, that's gonna run out. But actually, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good fun. The Kang was okay. As I say, I think certainly wouldn't be a figure that I'd look at buying, because I don't think he's got like a really kind of iconic look. But they kind of hint at his like what a bastard he is, but you don't really. I don't think they really take it far enough. I quite enjoyed it. That guy on the up on that little floating thing is my favourite character in it. He's one of the sort of resistance guys, and his head is just like this massive like laser cannon. A bit like the I forget what it was called. In the first Thor movie, they sent that big metal guy to he had that like really intense like laser heat beam thing. He's got it like that. His head's like it's on like it's like a tube thing that swivels around and goes up and down, and it just so there's some really cool sort of creature design and stuff in there, and I think it's worth seeing. As I say, compared to sort of some of the last few like Eternals and so I was disappointed with Wakanda Forever. I just felt it was quite laboured, bit too long. I didn't really like I wasn't a massive fan of the Namor character and the Avatar blue people. So I think coming to this, I didn't have any expectations, and I quite enjoyed it. And you kind of get that sort of comedy element with Paul Rudd, and the sort of the opening and the closing is him walking along the street, a bit like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, talking to the camera and high-fiving people and stuff like that. Like he's a celebrity. He goes into the coffee shop, and the guy gets his coffee and his pastry, and the guy says, no charge. Are you sure? Sure. And he goes, yeah, anything for Spider-Man. and he kind of looks back and then just goes, yeah, just goes with it. And then at the end, he goes back in, and the guy's worked out that he calls him the Bug Man. Yeah. And as he goes to walk off, he goes, it'd be $12, please. He's like, oh, so realizes he's not Spider-Man and doesn't give him his free food anymore. But it's good. I liked it. I'm sure it'll be out on Disney Plus in a couple of months, but definitely watch it there. But it was just something to do, and it was. I did enjoy it. I think Guardians looks good. Trailers for that. The next Guardians. I think that's the next one. Is that out May? I think that's the next. So yeah, I think like all. Without a doubt, this current wave of MCU films has not been able to kind of recapture the heights of the Infinity War Endgame kind of thing. But
it was always going to happen, though, weren't it?
Yeah,
It was on the cards. It was always going to happen.
You built up to such a massive like crescendo, and then you've got to try and rebuild it with with the characters you've got left as well. But it's quite good because it ties into Loki a little bit, so it's bringing in the TV shows as well, which is quite good to kind of bring that all together. So I give it 7 out of 10, and it was enjoyable. I didn't fall asleep, so for me that's quite.
It's always a bonus.
That's a mark of as a man approaching his 50s. You get in that big comfy chair, the lights go down, and it's very easy to just fall asleep, no matter how much you enjoy the movie. But it kept me awake, so that's always a good start. And and the boy enjoyed it. He found it good fun. So yeah.
It's always
Not
handy.
Not too bad.
Always handy. Yeah, I'm just holding out for Bando in a couple of days. That'll do me.
Yeah. So have you? I mean, no spoiler. Have you watched any Picard yet? I haven't watched.
Watched the first episode.
Yeah, because
really
got
good.
two now, haven't we?
Yeah, really liked it because it's weird. 'Cause it's on Paramount and it's on Amazon. It's on both.
Yeah, I know that's weird, isn't it? Because you'd think that Paramount would have taken everything now that they're up and running. That they would take all this, but they've obviously, I mean, Amazon is a behemoth. It is a power in itself, and they probably said, look, we've done the first two series. This is the last one. We're having it. You can show it on your one as well, but
we're still having it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's probably drawn in quite a lot of subscribers to Prime. I mean, I don't have Prime at the moment, but I will be getting it in a couple of weeks, so I can kind of binge watch it all in one go. And I sort of drop in and out with it, so I think it's been a good one for them, I think. And obviously, we know that the majority of the next gen crew are back for this one, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's very good, very good.
Excellent. And are you watching Last of Us?
No.
Okay.
No, I've not bothered. I wasn't a massive fan of the games. I probably will watch it, but I'm watching that much at the moment. I just don't have the time. So I'll watch it eventually, but it's just going to be a while.
Yeah, it's very good. It's kind of what you wished that Walking Dead was, I think. It's I know that's maybe unfair because I think Walking Dead started off very well, but they just lost their way and they just never
kept
knew
going
when
when
to
it should have stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say that it's what that should have been, but it is good, and obviously Pedro is the man at the moment, and he's very good in it. And I don't think it matters whether you've if you like apocalyptic zombie what have you kind of stuff. It doesn't matter that I played the game, but 10, 11 years ago, I don't really remember much about it.
Yeah.
So people say, oh yeah, that was in the game, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember that. But it is good. It is good. So definitely give it a watch at some point. Right. So that's been we're going to do all the housework and stuff, and that. But it's been brilliant. We've had basically 30 people pretty much the whole show. And I know that appreciate that it normally drops off a bit now, and that's fine. We've kind of got through the stuff, but it's been really good to have you all watching live. Always a bit of a boost for us. So we're going to go through the Patreon members. So we've got Sean Fearn, CB, Rene Mendes, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louie, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Collier, Equan, Chris Van Serena, Ben Thomas, Chris Leddy, David Jones, Sam Gist, Dominator, Joel Brader, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, new guy, I think, Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crett, Big Fern, King Zach, Caesar American, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Vermonsky, Rick Gregorio, Johnny Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Assassina, The Illustrious Rainer, Alid Morgan, Takathri Wah, Derek Bezidzinski, Aris Patillo, Mark Randolph, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, Carlos Savija, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchase, Sean Yahtzee, Scott Bradley, Stephen Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Thank you all very much for your kind support. I'm just going to put a link here in case you would like to join the Patreon. We've got 4 tiers. We've got $5 per month gets you Ox After Dark, a weekly shouter, and digital files for the stickers, so you can print them out yourself. $7.50 a month gets you the sticker sent straight to your door, as well as the same benefits of the previous tier. Certified Crispy gets you a certificate and figure fixes by Zach. And the Water Guy at $25 a month gets you the exclusive Pog Deluxe set, doubles all the stickers, so you can send one to your friends and family, and all the benefits of the previous tiers. We also have you can become a YouTube channel member, so we've got Mojo Z78, Absolute Irwin, DK Avenger 702, OMFG Rick, S-Beam, Andrew B, Daminator, Sam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hanson, Chris V, Big Old Fern, Cram, V Juarez, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibe, 63P, Carlito, City 603, Eddie Mendez, Sear Dreams, Jay Sear, B Chan, Fat Batman, and Justin Sports Cards Museum. Thank you to all of you guys. So if you're Patreon, you can join the become a YouTube channel member for 99 cents a month. Gets you loyalty badges, emojis, and member shout-outs on the show. Or if you're not a Patreon, you just want to become a YouTube channel member, you can do so for $2.99 a month. Gets you same perks as the Patreon's member shout-outs on the show. So we will, and then we've got T Public. So if you want to buy some merch, I'll put a link in for that. As we said before, we're going to chat a bit in a minute about Celebration, and obviously we've been working on a sticker design for that. So we'll probably get sorry, my throat's got a bit. We'll probably get some t-shirts, but we're going to have some stickers. We're going to take some to Celebration. We'll obviously hand those out to any of you guys, or like anyone we can dump them on, basically. We're not leaving that place until we've got rid of them all. I think there's going to be a lot of that. I see a lot of I joined like a Facebook group for Celebration, and there's a lot of people that are going to be taking, you're going to pick up a lot of freebies, cards and stickers, just people just handing stuff out to you. So yeah, we're going to obviously try and have a bit of a presence there. It'd be great to find out like how many of you are going on the Saturday, and we'll try and, as much as it's not easy to meet up, sort of finding out where we're going to meet and what time. It'd be brilliant to meet up with as many of you as we can, really, and hopefully you know what we look like. So if we say we're going to be somewhere at a certain time, hopefully you can find us, because we don't know what a lot of you look like. But I know that Shane's managed to get a Saturday ticket now as well, so hopefully meet up with him. Can't be many gingers going. Love you, Shane. But yeah, no, we're really looking forward to that, and obviously it's going to be the momentous occasion where we first meet each other in person. Yeah, which, it's going to be an emotional moment. And it'd be I think it's going to be really good fun. I don't know. Yeah. I don't necessarily know what to expect from the show. I think it's going to be a lot of stalls and people selling stuff, and but there's going to be some toy displays and stuff, and obviously that's mainly what we're going. I don't know that we're going to be queuing up 6 hours to go and watch Ewan McGregor talk for 10 minutes.
See, I've purposely not ordered autographs or anything.
No.
Because I saw some of the prices, so long I'll be waiting, and went, no, I'm only there for a day.
Yeah, it's the prices, isn't it? And the fact that you could waste your whole day queuing for an autograph and trying to get into one of the panels.
Yeah.
And you won't see anything else. And we're kind of, we're going on the show, and we want to be there. We want to see the Hot Toys figures and all that sort of stuff, and the merch, and hopefully meet up with some people and stuff, and just have a good day and do a bit of content for the show. We'll try and do some videos and take lots of pictures and stuff like that. So and we're about 6 weeks away now, so we've just been chatting about getting there, and all the sort of the logistics of it and everything. And we'll probably go for curry or something afterwards. So again, get some of you guys out. It'd be brilliant. So the stickers are, you've got the design, haven't you? And we're gonna get them printed.
Ordered them today. So
brilliant. So
they should be here soon.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. So come and see us and get a sticker, get a free sticker, and it'd be cool. So take it away, sir. Take us to the network.
Here we are. So this is us. This is everyone. This is all the shows we've got, and the slide has stayed fairly consistent for a little while, which is good. So
we haven't had anybody drop out or
no, not yet.
Disappear.
Not yet. So we've got Collecting Weekly Live Unboxing, as the title suggests. They are live and they are unboxing.
We have a retro one where somebody's already opened it, put it back in a box, and then opened it again.
Reopened it again.
Yes, retro unboxing.
Repackaging. I like it.
Yes,
Yeah. So we've got After Dark, who we nicked all their stuff because I forgot to change it until Danny kindly pointed it out to us in the chat halfway through the show, and I switched it round.
Yeah.
So did that. Collectors Club, which is a club for collectors. The reissue. Do they need a tissue? I don't know. But that's the reissue. You got Collector Weekly Live, which is the mothership. All Hail. Ox PD, which is the latest gaming shenanigans. I haven't watched one yet, but I'm told it's very
brilliant.
good.
Yeah, well, they're now doing Red Dead 2 now, because I think they had some real problems with the Ox PD kind of the game and the updates and stuff. But it was brilliant. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'll have a look. We got Question of the Week, which I don't know what the question is this week. It could
I
be,
don't know what the question is. No.
Yeah, no idea. Live and Let Dice, which is all Dungeons and Dragons, and he's very good. I could listen to that man's voice for ages.
Yeah, so it's the big final finale coming up this Sunday, isn't it? It's like the final chapter in this campaign, I think.
We can try and kill them all off.
Yeah, tune into that. Yeah, because I expected more of them to be dead already, to be honest. But they all seem to have
They've done very, very well.
I mean, I don't know at what point did Mark, what point did you get killed off? Because I don't watch them all, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, Mark's dead. He obviously died a few episodes
I think
ago.
I remember them talking about that. Yeah, it was a little while ago.
Yeah. So
we got Bricks and Brews, which is drinking beer and making Lego, riveting stuff. OFAC, the jewel in the crown, the reason why we're all here, representing at Celebration this year.
Amazing.
Yeah, the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
Then we've got Small Talk, the itty bitty things, and Pose Wars, which is where they pose and have a war about it. So that's it. That's the network. That is every one of us in cartoon form. Even Rainer, where he looks like he's got pink eye. But it's us. We're all here.
Very squinty.
Yeah, he's very squinty. But yeah, we are all here. That's us. So yeah, I think it's been
a beautiful bunch of
cartoon people.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's been quite a good show today. I think
it's been a good show. Yeah, definitely.
I think we powered on through.
We've got a couple more shows before Celebration, so we'll start hyping. We'll keep hyping it up, and we'll hopefully get a good bunch of us together. Be really good.
Yeah. We're toying with the idea of, because we're meant to be on the
2 days
the week 2 days before we go, so we're toying with the idea of not doing that show till after we've been, and we can do a big celebration special.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think, if that's something you guys would want.
Or we can still do the show and then do a special the week after, because it's going to be a lot of material, isn't there? So we can gauge it at the time, because if there's a lot of other stuff to talk about, and I don't know whether we'll get, the because we've got the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi stuff that's going to come from Hot Toys, and I don't know whether we'll see any of that kind of before, or whether they'll use Celebration to kind of unveil them. So we can judge it near the time. But we might do that. We might do that, or we might just do a special just on the Coolio.
Right. Well, we'll love you and leave you.
Yeah.
We'll see you all guys later.
Night all.
See you. Bye.